remember, I did say that according to that judgment in Limpopo, they are allowed to trade as business people, even without investing that 5 million rands. And that's why we find ourselves in this problem that we have here, which is something that we're also trying to take government to take to the Constitutional Court at least. Even skip they might have to go to the SCA or even the Constitutional Court straight to really sort that issue out, because there's no way refugees should be allowed to just trade in the country and become business people. So that's one of the things that we have on the table. We also want to, I know Commander Josh would know this, when it comes to the legal side of things, we want to seek a declarator on the everyone in the Constitution, because that one is also going to solve a lot of problems for us. So in terms of legally, there's a lot of things that we know need to be challenged in the high courts. I mean, not in the high courts, but in the Constitutional Court or SCA. So that's what we're working on.
Thank you so much, Jacinta. And we are aware that, the time has lapsed, but I've been advised that there's somebody who is mobilizing on behalf of March and March in Limpopo, Miss M. I thought maybe we should just give them priority quickly. Miss M? Miss M, are you there?
Yes. Thank you very much. I'm a patriot, the host, and also greetings to everyone on the panel and also on this live. Jacinta, I'm so excited. Jacinta, thank you for this opportunity. Ne ke kgopela ho bolela ka Sepedi since ke emetse batho ba Limpopo.
My sister, I can hear you. I'm pretty sure if I don't understand, I'll ask.
Okay.
But I can hear you.
Now I'm a patriot at heart. Ke rata naga ya South Africa. So mo TikTok I go by the name of Miss M. So nentse ke bolela ka taba ya ma illegal foreigners until ebile batho ba Limpopo ban recognize bang kopanya le ba bangwe ba Limpopo ba loring we are fighting the same cause, the same issue. So and then ya ba reng ke a goeletsa ka mo Limpopo re batho ba Limpopo, where are you where le sa iponagati, because the province tse dingwe di a emelela di support March and March. And then ya ba bona batho ba Limpopo ba loring ba re yes re emeletše ka mo re tlhoka motho a ka emelelang a re leader a leader di march, and then ya ba gore re emelela re support March and March. Batho ba Limpopo ba re we love March and March. Re nyako e support le rena a re support-ela go pela go bile le taba ya di propaganda tsa gore Limpopo ba re they don't support March and March. Limpopo is tribalistic. So batho ba Limpopo ba re rena tšeo a re di tsebe, rena re support March and March because ba re lwela ba kwa dilo tša rena ba ema le rena. So re bile le March ka di 8 tša June ka mo Polokwane Jack Borders. So our march was peaceful, we registered everything. So however, the time we disperse, the very same police ba never protector go marching. Ke bona the same police ba ba ambushitse batho ba rena ka di rubber bullets. So nna ke gopela gore le re thuse in terms of the legal actions gore na a go le so senjore batho ba rena ba dire jwang, because ba thuntšitšwe ka dirapa mo le gore ne ba practice their constitutional rights. So and then another challenge re be le yona ka mo Limpopo ke gore re tlhoka thuso ya March and March, or ba re fe Major Center if le ka gona le re fe date ya national march o tlo dira ka mo Limpopo, or re be really busy re mobilize batho gore ka that date bo re nka o fela re kopane ka mo Limpopo re kopane a gona tribalism e cause ke di politicians tse le goreng ba na le di personal interest tša bona, but ka mo Limpopo re kopane Mavenda, Bapedi, Matsonga kaofela re ready for March and March.
I think first of all with the issue of the rubber bullets and which legal action you can take, it's very important that you open a case, no matter what you think. Open a case against the police, and a case against the police will open with IPID to report that they have mistreated you guys. But one thing I always encourage, and I think it helps a lot with marches, is if you are on live, encourage as many people to be on social media. Even when those altercations happen with the police, you have the police on camera, saying the things that they are saying and doing them. You have videos of everything that's happening, because it makes it easier to follow up even when there's a case involved. So whenever there's a march, make sure your cameras are on, and they're doing what they have to do in terms of as the police, because we know sometimes police can be ridiculous. There, for example, there's a lot of them that we've seen at marches where they're telling people that, oh no, you can't go this way, or your march is supposed to be at this time. There's no such thing. The Constitutional Court ruled that the police and anyone actually in this country can never refuse people to march. Never. It is your constitutional right to march. You can march anywhere you want. You can march at any time that you want. The reason there's even safety meetings and compliance meetings, section 24, section 9. I think it's section 42 for the marches, the safety section 4 meetings. Sorry, the section 4 meetings. The reason they are there, it's for your own safety. Sometimes that the police know that they are well prepared, they've got enough staff. There's safety involved, etc. But it in no ways means that the police can say no to you march. The police have no choice. Even if you wake up now in the morning and say you want to go and march, even without that section 4 meeting, you can still go and march, because it's your right. Even they have no leg to stand on, because constitutionally, this is the highest court in the land. They said you have a right to go and march, and they didn't put a time frame to it. They didn't put a route to it, that there's other routes that you can't go. There's no such thing, So that's one thing that I feel like a lot of South Africans must make sure that they never ever negotiate with the police about, where they tell them that you can't go here, or you can't do this, or you have to be finished at this time. I saw another police officer in Mpumalanga being ridiculous, and we are trying to follow up on that case, because luckily they had that on video where the policeman was refusing for them to go in another route, because he was saying the time for the march has come to an end. There's absolutely no such thing. There's no such thing, right? So whenever police officers, they are also bound by the law. They're not just people who are supposed to be like a law unto themselves, but we do encourage that you work together with the police, because it will make your marches better and easier, and if you feel like they're giving you a hard time, always call us. I think my sister, I don't know how you can send me your number. If you can issue I don't attend to my DMs, but you can try and send it even to Sislin, and she'll forward to me, because we'd like to get in touch.
I'll facilitate this. Thank you.
We'd love to come to Limpopo. We know very well how politicians operate, my dear. And the reason they're pushing for the tribalism notion now is to get us to be distracted and to deviate from the main issue. Because politicians, they want to be the ones that benefit from anything that has numbers and has people. Now, if you're seeing people and they're being united, and it's not because of you, trust me, it's not nice for them, because they want to have monopoly over people, and people must respond to everything that they do so that they can get votes and feel like they can be defended every time they do rubbish. Trust me, politicians gain a lot from having people, because they know they're going to defend them even when they're doing something wrong. Politicians have thrived for years at doing that and saying that, I know I'm a criminal, I know I'm committing crime, but because there's people that benefit from me, they're going to fight for me, or they believe in me fighting for Black people or whatever it is that they say they're fighting for, then I'm going to be able to make sure that I speak whatever nonsense and they'll believe me. Because if there's one thing I always say about Zulu people, I know Zulu people, I know them. And if there's one thing that I can possibly say about us, and I'm going to include myself in it, is that, Zulus are not the type of people that just go around hating people and saying, we hate you because you're Xhosa. They are very ignorant. That's one thing they can say things that are from pure ignorance, or they come from a place where sometimes, because they're territorial like that. But it's not from a place of hatred. And I'm not going to say every single person is like that, because obviously there would be some people who are tribalist. It's normal. But it mustn't be a Zulu people thing that there's tribalism. You can't label every single Zulu person as tribalist. That's not true. That's why even in December, Durban doesn't look like Durban in December. Durban has people speaking all kinds of languages, and we are used to it. We are so used to it. We're not going to go around and saying, you are a foreigner in Durban in December, what are you doing here, etc. That's not how people behave. And politicians love doing that. And sometimes we banter each other, like those tweets that I did when I was still young. And, it was a Twitter challenge where we were just hashtag Limpopo girls and there was hashtag Durban girls. And I think some of you, even if you go to Twitter right now and you type in the hashtag Limpopo girls, you'll see a lot of people are participating in that trend, hashtag Durban girls. It was a trend at that time. It was not a person being tribalist or hopping on tribalism, whatever the case might be. But also, enough about that. Let's fix Limpopo. Let's come and march there. We are more than happy to have you guys doing and standing up for your province. It's very important to preserve ourselves. No matter what they say, it's very important to preserve ourselves by all means necessary as a country. And I see everyone is calling for 0 pela guys. 0 0 0.
Yes.
Yeah, so and Jacinta, you've been incredibly generous with your time. Siyabonga kakhulu. But
Samantha, please, please
yeah, if you would be so kind, please. Thank you. Skananda.
Thank you so much, leadership. You guys are running a fantastic panel. Greetings, leadership, Jacinta, and our head of legal, Ubabu Zuma, a very wise man from a great university where all our former justices come from, chief justices, by the way. I wanted to ask you, with the issue of remigration of refugees, given the fact that our current problem right now is that everyone who's owning a spaza shop is a refugee. At the same time, they are dipping in at SASA as refugees and asylum seekers. If you look at what happened this year in March, Tanzania repatriated Burundians back to their country, because remember, these countries have all been declared safe by the UN, including DRC. So Tanzania repatriated over 90,000 people back to Burundi, and Burundi repatriated over 30,000 people back to DRC. It's there in the UN records. Can we just speed up the process? Because asylum and refugee is temporary. It was never meant to be translated into permanent residency. Can we really, really speed up that process? Because we're getting people running salons, running tuck shops just because they're refugees, whereas they are getting paid from SASA. I've been a district surgeon for SASA for many years. So that's the first thing. And then another thing is, it's the issue of the prison transfer. The DA currently in Parliament, they're lobbying for a prisoner exchange. We know very well that our prisoners, our criminals are very much respectful. They don't export their crimes. So if we're going to say it's going to be a prisoner exchange, it means that we will always have a net drain, because we don't have many South Africans that are committing offenses in other countries. What we want outright is just a prisoner transfer, outflow out of the country. And it seems as if political parties want the same thing, but how it's done, it's totally different. DA wants an exchange, and all the other parties, they want to transfer out. And then another issue is with the issue of the Department of Labor. They have actually now in their new proposals, they want to have a platform whereby illegals can report any disputes they have with their employers. For me, I don't like that, because I don't think these issues will end up with the Department of Labor. I think they will go to CCMA, and we're going to end up with a backlog and a huge bill. South Africans, again, will be shortchanged. It will become another road accident fund issue. So I think with these proposed amendments to whatever laws they're working on, can we just find a way to get involved as citizens? Because at the end of the day, we have to pay for it. At the end of the day, we have to suffer for it. We're going to be told that you can't just fire a person. They're going to have the same rights as the citizens do at the time. But a big issue for me is the remigration. Pakistani last year was able to send more than 850 Iraqis and Syrians back home. And a year before Iran, they were not even attacked at the time. At the time, they sent out 1.5 million refugees within 6 months. Can we just push for that? Thank you so much.
I think there's a lot that you've said, but I think I've noted most of the things that you're saying, and I think that's why we're saying that we are aligning with political parties, because as you're saying, some of them are the ones pushing for these things so that we are in alignment, and when motions are tabled in Parliament, etc., we have a certain say in the way things are done. And I mean, myself personally, having gone to speak in Parliament, I know that was made possible by me speaking to political parties to say, hey, please exert pressure, because we need to make a presentation around this issue of illegal immigration. And ever since that presentation, because we knew some of the things, like the white paper had been sitting there for a long time, it hadn't been touched, but it was already there. And then they brought it onto the table. The consultation started. This SIU report had been sitting there from 2024. Then they finalized it. So the pressure is going to do a lot of work for us. So we need to just keep up the pressure. And I'm going to be meeting more political parties as well to make sure that they meet us halfway. As you're saying, the FF Plus has got its own motion on how it wishes to deal with the issue of prisoners and others. So it really does help to tackle this issue in many different ways. But trust me, there's a lot of work. There's a lot. The legislation is our biggest problem. And somehow we need to find a way of solving it. And that's why I'm so happy to see the likes of Prince Mtombeni, Entle, Amani Dube, and them coming together to do the SACR, and I hope you guys really do support them, because that's a very important movement that they've got there, which pushes for constitutional reform, because our constitution really needs to be reformed. There's too much going on, and if we don't change it, we'll forever be prison to our own laws in our own country. Yeah, so I think let's give Zero a chance before we wrap it up, because Shem kade ngimbone complainer la.
Yeah, akudala shembeshe ukuthi simfake. So thank you, Jacinta. Zero, do you want to come in?
Sanibonani. Thank you so much for ithuba elingaka. Ngiyabonga. I just have two questions mina bese ngiyahamba kunawo amaningi. My first question is, I want to find out ukuthi who is the leader when it comes to the march itself, the revolution, the movement, because ngokuhamba kwesikhathi there's going to be a time whereby wonke umuntu is trying to shine using media, using social media, the camera, everything, wanting fame so that they can be placed kule seat leadership. So ngiyacela ukuphenduleka lapho ukuthi who's the leader. Is it Miss Jacinta? Is it uPhakile Mthakathi? Is it Ungizwe? Or is it others? Sesibabona bevuka nabo no social media wabo, because eventually it's becoming a power struggle, and abantu bazogcina sebedideka, and the social media siyayazi iyacontroleka. So the people with background, they could choose their own person and then decide to flatter yonke into influence, yonke promotion to them and make it seem like that's the leader. And then the second question is, I would like to know who, okay, beyanjani kule march leyenzekalayo. It's a very beautiful thing and nami ngiyayisupport. But manje ama-politicians are against it. President is against it to a point whereby he addressed the nation wakhuluma washo izinto ayishoyo ekhuluma against the movement itself. I would like to know, if in my mind, who did you guys, excuse my language, but who did you guys piss off ngale ndlela yokuthi the system itself ayinifuni, even though nenza something ebenefitisa abantu abamnyama. At the end of the day, that will make sure ukuthi siyathuthuka as abantu abamnyama abahlala eSouth Africa. Who is it that you guys pissed off? Who is it lo benefita kangaka osenibona as a threat, that he or she uses social media to make sure ukuthi nje there's a smear campaign nabantu ababi? Who is it that uses i-radio nabantu ababi kwi-radio, nabantu ababi kwi-TV, social media, TikTok, X, yonke into, everywhere there's misinformation. So yeah, I just want to know, who did you piss off? Mhlambe fill in the blanks khona nami ngizokwazi. That's it. Ngiyabonga kakhulu for the opportunity. Appreciate this.
Thank you, Zero.
Thank you, Zero. Ngizoqala kulo mbuzo wokuqala, which is about who's the leader and the power struggle. I can safely say that mhlambe you were bungafiki when I answered this question. Ukuthi khona i-march and march, then there's, for example, Phakela une Insizwa Nobutsizwa, that's his own organization. Ungizwe is just Ngizwe because he's Ngizwe. Jacinta started March and March as March and March. And I mean, there's dozens of other organizations that I also found that are already dealing with the issue of illegal immigration and, you know, putting South Africans first, etc., etc. I don't think there can be a limit as to who is joining the fight or who's leading the fight, etc. And when you talk about a power struggle, I don't know, honestly, because personally, I think our focus is just on leading March and March. And, you know, with leading March and March, we work with other patriots, which is something we're not going to stop, you know. There's so many of them. I mean, we are in a group and we're talking every day because we're trying to also introduce ourselves as patriots. Because I know also, right now, this platform, I Am a Patriot, that's another organization that we're working with. And you know, they're also so concerned that they feel like, you know, Jacinta's taking all of the slack, you know, I'm dealing with all the criticism and whatever, and they feel like they're not supportive enough to also show that here, we're also in support, we're also standing up against illegal immigration. And, you know, personally, I feel like I've been identified as the poster child for what they call xenophobia. And I'm cool with that, you know, because I know that probably my strength is in articulating the issue, you know. And let's say, for example, Phakela is stronger with mobilization of Amabutho, you know. And in terms of articulation, for example, we also have Babzuma helping us with the law. So that also gives us a bit of strength, you know. But it doesn't mean that outright it's like us trying to lead this thing and make it our own, because I don't think that's the ideal model. I think the ideal model is with everyone from all these patriotic organizations coming together and, you know, speaking in one voice and supporting each other, because then it removes the targets. It's okay, this is the target, this is whatever. And I always say this, that, you know, I've seen a lot of people, this is causing this and this and this problem. But they've already decided to make it a human rights issue. And once they do that, okay, you see the posters, xenophobia. Xenophobia, that's the one word. Currently, Libya is chasing out foreigners. They're not even dealing with like illegal immigrants. They're like dealing with immigrants. They're like, we're tired of immigrants. They must just go. But you don't hear anyone saying Africa for Africans to Libyans, or saying to Libyans, we helped you with this, or telling Libyans they must break their laws, or telling Libyans that, they have self-hate or whatever. It's only South Africa that's really forced to conform to all these silly African Union standards that are non-existent, because these same people are the same people that are beating up their people until they run to our country. So the moral high ground ends when your people are being chased out of South Africa. Or it starts actually when your people are being chased out of South Africa, but you have no moral outrage about you, the same government, mistreating your people, leaving them in poverty, leaving them to struggle, to be hungry. No, you don't care about that. You care about South Africa and South Africa. Anyways, the second question was about, what was the second question about again?
Piss off because everyone.
Oh yes, who did we piss off? I think once you get into this thing, you start understanding it a lot better. So we live in a capitalist country that currently has a huge black market thriving and a massive globalist agenda. These are the three things. So in your head already, I'm sure you can figure it out. Capitalists benefit a lot from cheap labor. They've created their own little slaves. So if the little slaves are here working their hearts off, they can now take and maximize on profits and, have lots and lots of profits in their pockets, and have the little slaves working without having to deal with unions, etc., etc. So that's the first beneficiary. Second beneficiary is the black market, which involves the criminals. It involves politicians. It involves government. And the black market thrives in South Africa because you're living in a mafia state in this country. So you can imagine how much benefits is there from porous borders, illicit trades, goods coming in, drugs, cartels, all of that is thriving. And if you say tighten the border, oh goodness, now suddenly it's you abusing people. They're not going to tell you what the real issue is. They're not. They're going to tell you that you're the evil person, but they're the ones that are benefiting from the crime that's going on at the borders. Trust and believe me, that consignment of 1 billion rands worth of drugs is not a joke. Not every country, even in Africa, has that much drugs coming in one batch, in one go. Surely there's a reason why it was coming into South Africa. And surely there's a reason why it kept on coming into South Africa all of these years. And now suddenly, boom, it's being caught out. Do the math. Obviously, those people are not going to be happy with us. Then there's the third issue of the globalist agenda that wants all our little piggy bags, piggies to be in one country so that we can be able to do our little experiments on them, etc. That is where your organizations, I'm sure Zero, these organizations that push for that globalist agenda. That's why you'll see, I was saying this the other day, that white people are the ones that will always complain about lawlessness, and dirt, and filth, and this and that. But right now, they're the ones pushing for people to come here in numbers, to stay here, and so there's two reasons for that. And I think I've mentioned the first one, and this is now the second one. So you know who those organizations are and what they're benefiting from all of that. So we've got three major players in this thing, and all of them are losing out in the current situation because they're being exposed. So that is the answer that I'm giving you. And I heard that even currently they're trying to fight me by all means possible. They're coming together, they're spending money. I mean, people from overseas are pouring in money to say that they must fight this Jacinta because why is the government not arresting her, etc., etc. So yeah, it's a it's a serious problem that we have in the country because your politicians really don't care about your well-being. Shem, your politicians, Mandla, they're really just busy stealing, being corrupt, etc. There's very few of them that actually care about the people, and that's the unfortunate part. So I just hope you guys do a better job at choosing leaders. I do hope you do a better job at holding your leaders accountable. I hope you're also going to do a better job at holding yourselves accountable and not being enablers of crimes that are happening in the country, please. Because if we don't fix that, then there's no use in us going to the streets because we're just wasting our time at the end of the day. So make better choices. And on the 30th of June, we will be issuing posters and sharing where the meetup points are. And it's exactly what the purpose of the day is, because we don't want any vigilantism, as they already call us vigilantes. But yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, I've spoken a lot.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, Jacinta, thank you so much, my sister. Thank you for joining us this evening and for sharing your thoughts and insights and experiences with our audience. And, you ought to have left at 8:15, but you were extremely generous with your time. And that to me, once again, just proves your commitment and love for your country. And so we really appreciate you, and may much and much grow in strength and numbers, and may God grant you strength. And we urge
Sorry,
Yeah.
brother. I'm sorry. I just
Yeah.
saw someone asking about the 16th of June.
Go on.
And we don't have anything set out because we're not marching on the 16th of June. But we want to have an online social media campaign that we would like you guys to promote. Because we're seeing a lot of people calling this xenophobia. So I don't know, but I know Lynn is going to explain more about it. But we're looking for South Africans to share like short stories of how illegal immigration has affected them. And then you'll say at the end, because this is like our payoff line, that says, but you don't want to hear my story because you call it xenophobia. So, for example, this gentleman was telling us about your brother having died. I'm really sorry for your loss because of drugs. We'd like to hear a short story like that, like even if it's 40 seconds, a minute, and then you'll say, but you don't want to hear my story because you call it xenophobia, because we're trying to highlight that, people are not willing to listen to us share our realities around the issue of illegal immigration and how much it's affecting our lives, because they choose to call any and everything that we say as xenophobia. So that is our online campaign, and we hope that you guys will have those stories to share. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And those who didn't get a chance to engage with Jacinta, we apologize. Already she was generous with the time, but we encourage you to follow I'm a Patriot and follow Jacinta as well to keep abreast with what's happening. And now I'm going to hand over to the host. Thank you so much, Jacinta.
Thank you so much, Sigma. Thank you so much, Jacinta. Guys, tomorrow, Queen Lebu is going to be hosting Jacinta on her live tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And on Tuesday, we will be having another live at 7 o'clock, and we'll share the details of that live tomorrow.
Khulu for ukusinikeza the courage, Mam Zuma, Mam Gobes. I'm an artist, singer, but also I'm in corporate. So ngizifakile nje, and I risked both my careers by being involved and being vocal about the March and March. Some people would maybe remember there's a video that I posted where Gang Babaza, Joburg City, where I was saying for the first time after a very long time ngibona i-city ibukeka the way ibukeka ngakhona. Okay, ngidlule lapho. Umbuzo wami to Umam Jacinta. Well, actually, I'm older than you, but I'll ngoba ngiyakuhlonipha for the work that you do, I'll call you Mom. I am trying to follow, you know, the whole movement, but ngifila ngathi kune missing link where we might not understand what is supposed to happen on the 30th exactly. What is the mobilization approach? Ngizokwenza example. In my street, ngihlala emasababsini mina, and in my street ukhona indlu that besazi sonke singumphakathi ukuthi benza izinto ezishady, and for years bekuba khona umphakathi uzamayo ukuthi ba raid that house, you know, with no success ukuthi babakhiphe, but benza nje into ethusayo. And manje now that kune march and march bakwazile ukuthi beze bafike babakhiphe, and then kwafika amaphoyisa, in fact kwaqale kwafika Metropolis was there to just make sure ukuthi akuna violence, and then kwafika SAPS mayifika babacela ukuthi maba verify ama documents wabantu, and bafika bakhosa irwayirwayi ngesilokishini sithi irwayirwayi. The SAPS bafika nje baba arrogant and stuff like that, and then people started getting aggravated. And then because I'm partly a content creator, I took videos ukubonisa nje ukuthi this is something that can actually happen. Abantu bathi mabebuka maseyipostiwe into babone ngathi abantu bafikile bakhoza i-violence. In the meantime, SAPS you efike yenza ukuthi abantu babe aggravated. But my question is, kahle kahle kufanele sizimobilize kanjani on the 30th? Because mina kusase unclear for me, although I'm a big part of the movement, but I am still very unclear as to what
right.
is supposed to be. Ngicela ukuthi mhlawumbe aphendule ngesintu ne ukuthi bangezwa ke abantu. Ngiyabonga.
Hey sebe uphekwa amaqhinga. Ngingathi nje umhla ka-30 guys, ngoba sengishilo ngaphambili ukuthi akuwona umcimbi like or usuku la usuku lekuthiwa usuku lesigameko, no, kwakusuku njalo libekile ukuthi nje abantu laba bakufika kumele sibehambile ngalosuku. Mangenjalo we intensify our struggle. I think nina la kufanele nibe concerned khona yila esithi siya intensify, because lokho kuzodinga nina guys. Mangithi nje singamasha zonke insuku afterwards, ngicela nje nikuthathe serious lokho. Ukuthi kahle kahle lizobe lingasekho lamahala, sizobe senza by all means necessary, of course ngaphansi komthetho, azizenza izinto ezizosicompromise, because asifuni nani ukuthi niboshwe la maseniboshiwe bese nithi kuzobe ithina esanibophisa. Cha, sinama means nama strategies nezinto esesicabangile, yabo, ukuthi sizoyisebenzisa ukuthi sifake ipressure kuhulumeni, and izona ke sizobe sesiyimplementa emva kalokho, ukuthi ngoba sifuna ukuthi manje uhulumeni kube wona ongabi nakho ukuthula until benze sure ukuthi bane plan yokubakhipha labantu la ezweni lethu, ngoba sikhathele kakhulukazi labo abadelelayo. Baningi bayadelela la, bafe bakhulume isa ku social media basitshela ukuthi abahambi bani indiyona into engiyisabayo mina leyo kubantu bakithi. Singiyabazi ukuthi bazobe bacabanga leyo trauma leyo bese bayalwa, kanti angifuni isilwe, yona into engayifuni ke leyo, ngoba kusa early guys, ngoba ngisho kusa early. Ama plans esinawo awadingi ukuthi sigagamele, asehlisa umoya nje, sithathe njengokuthi vele sihlala la ezweni, asiyindawo, asijahe indawo. Abantu abajahile la ibone labo bagodukisa ngoba baye emakubo. So engakusho nje ukuthi umhla ka-30 usuku olubalekile, nathi singasho ukuthi sifasa amateko, yabo. Siyaqhubeka kodwa nokuba semgwaqeni, kodwa ngendlela enganakho ukula nokushaya abantu no asenzi leyo nto. Asenzi leyo nto. Engakusho nje ukuthi after umhla ka-30 wona ayifanele ngabe niyawulangazelela ke lo, because after umhla, ngoba vele umhla ka-30 siyazi ngeke bekube ukuthi sebehambile bonke, siyakwazi lokho, siyakwazi. Asilindele
Hello Mzansi, welcome to Mgosi waseMzansi. Itolo bekune-live lapha ku-TikTok le bekunabo-Jacinta Buzero wey'nkinga bebabaningi abantu abaparticipate-ile lapha kuleya live, and uJacinta was speaking about indaba yange-30 as a 30 June, yes 30 June, kokuthi mhla ka-30 akusilo langa lokulutha, akusilo langa lokwenda lokungekho right, and akusho ukuthi vele kuyofika mhla ka-30 ihambile wonke ama-foreigners e-South Africa, we all know that. But uthi after 30 June, then we need to enforce pressure ku-government abone ukuthi kahle hle sikhathele ama-foreigners they must go back to their countries. Do comment your thoughts down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. I will see you on the next one. I'm signing out. Goodbye.